So we spoke about process groups, which are group of processes, and we have 49 processes. As we just understood, every process group will have these processes. Now what is the definition? PMI defines a project management process as a systematic series of activities directed towards causing an end result where one or more inputs will be acted upon to create one or more outputs. Simply speaking, it is saying a process contains a series of activities or actions. Also, each process has a set of inputs and a set of outputs. And a process creates an end result. For example, in initiating process group, we have a process named Develop Project Charter. It has a set of inputs such as business case, agreements, and there is an output called Project Charter. Now what is the end result, which is coming as the output of the process? The end result is, of course, a project charter. So a process is a systematic series of activities with a set of inputs on which you do some actions and you get a set of outputs, and that output is the end result. Processes are generally divided into three categories. In the latest edition of the PMBOK guide, these three categories have been mentioned for every process. The three categories are processes used once or at predefined points in the project. Second one is processes that are performed periodically as needed. Third one is processes that are performed continuously throughout the project. Let's go through them one by one. So first one is the processes used once or at predefined points in a project. For example, we have a process called Plan Scope Management in Scope Management Knowledge Area, and it belongs to Planning Process Group. The scope management planning happens at predefined points, typically at the beginning of each phase of the project. So if I have a project, is the life cycle, and I have various phases. I have say phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that. At the beginning of every phase, the scope management plan will be redefined. Next is processes that are performed periodically as needed. For example, we have a process called Acquire Resources that is part of Resource Management Knowledge Area, and it belongs to Executing Process Group. This process, Acquire Resources, is performed as and when resources are needed. So these are periodically. For example, this is the phase. From here to here we have phase 1, and it will be periodically done. Similarly, periodically done in phase 2, like that. And the third category is processes that are performed continuously throughout the project. For example, Monitor Risks process, which belongs to Risk Management Knowledge Area and Monitoring and Controlling Process Group. The risk monitoring for a project or a phase happens throughout the project. So this process, which is performed continuously, that will be done throughout, continuously. It will be happening. Not at predefined, it will be happening continuously. Not at predefined points or at periodic points, but it will be happening continuously throughout the life cycle of the project. So remember very clearly, these are the three categories of processes. As an overall tip, I am telling you the planning processes, that is plan scope management or plan schedule management, are most likely to fall into this category. Processes used once or at predefined points. The monitoring and controlling processes under Monitoring and Controlling Process Group are most likely to be performed continuously throughout the project. And we have also some processes which are performed periodically as needed at some points, and it will be periodically done, not at predefined points, for example at the beginning of a phase or beginning of a project. As I told in the example, to simplify it again, predefined points is one point here, another point, another point. Periodically, in a sense, again, any time in between, there are periodically it will be done as and when needed. And continuously means it is happening continuously throughout the life cycle of the project.